Yeah, it's been a few years since I've played, and we're looking forward to getting out there and playing. And first time playing this event here for me at the TPC, and so excited to compete. And this is one heck of a golf course. It's certainly a lot more difficult than what I had envisioned. You've got the rough up, fairways in. It's like a mini open here, and so last year single digits won, and it'd be hard pressed to get to double digits again this year.
All right, we'll take some questions. We'll start over here on the left.
Tiger, in 2007, when your people hustled to get this event together, what was your vision for it then, and how, as we kind of maybe come to the close here, how has it played out over time?
Yeah, what we tried to do is we tried to celebrate what our men and women were doing in the service, trying to do it on our nation's birthday. We had President Bush here. We had a Special Forces A team here from Fort Bragg. Golden Knights were jumping in. So we really tried to honor our servicemen and women, because you remember we were at war pretty hard at that particular time, and we really want to say thank you. I was raised in a military background, playing military golf courses, and so just really tried to do all we could, not just for the DC area, but our nation's capital and our nation's birthday, and trying to say thank you to all the people who are putting their lives on the line for us and our freedoms.
Sherry.
Tiger, knowing the importance of this tournament with your foundation, what does it mean to you to be back here after missing the last couple of years?
Oh, it's great to be back. It's been frustrating not to be able to compete and play and to be a part of this event. I think that what we've created here over the years has been special. Our Heroes Tribute Wall, we were the first ones to do it, and now it's one of the standards, throughout the tour. Free admission to all military service men and women and their dependents. That's something, and retirees. That's something that became, a standard, on the PGA Tour. So we did a few things that I'm very proud of.
Ben.
Tiger, Ricky was just in here and he gave you an A, but he said he didn't want your head to get too big. I was wondering if you could give yourself, on your comeback, a letter grade and why to this point.
I'm not going to give you a letter grade on it, but I will say that I am blessed, thankful, and it's basically a gift to be able to play again. At this particular time, as you know, I did not know. I was not allowed to putt yet. I was not allowed to swing a club yet. I did not know. My back was not fused. And so there was no guarantee that I ever play golf, forget the PGA Tour. And so to go from that to here, and I didn't foresee that happening. I really didn't. And to be able to build a golf swing, around something that's never been done before. No one's had club head speeds as what I've had on the tour this year with a lower back fusion. These are things that I didn't know I could do, and all of a sudden I'm doing it. I'm competing, I'm playing, and I'm having just a great time doing it.
And at what time did your expectations raise, specifically, if you will, from now doing this to now I want to try to win again?
I think that when I made the changes after LA, missing the cut in LA, after not playing well, and I was able to make those swing changes right away and play the Honda, that to me, I stepped up another level, and I put it together the very next week at Valspar, almost won the event, and that's when I knew I had something, that I was able to make a change in my game significantly enough, and have the confidence to do it, and to be able to apply it and have it work out within 2 weeks. 1 week, there at home, and then all of a sudden over at Tampa. That's when I knew I had something.
On the aisle here, and then we'll take two on the left.
Hey, Tiger, with DC's future as a tour stop, obviously a bit up in the air. Does this area belong as a regular stop on the tour, and what are your thoughts on the support this event has gotten in the nation's capital?
The support's been fantastic. It's just that we just haven't got the sponsorship dollars. This is a tough climate right now. And to ask a company for $7, $8, $9 million, it's tough. And so that's where we're at. This event's always been supported by our servicemen and women, by the local charities. It's just trying to get a big title in here. That's the hard part. And I believe that this is a great sporting town. They really support their sports here, and that they've supported us. It's just now it's hard to get the corporate dollars.
Doug, and then
Tiger,
Steve.
you were making a fair number of putts probably the first couple months of the season, and then not so much lately. What changed in that respect? And secondly, what plans do you have for a putter this week?
What changes? I don't know, and that's been the frustrating part. I have had to just log in time and putt for hours to try and figure it out. And I hadn't putted well for about 4 tournaments now. I had a run at the Players, but I made some putts. It just didn't quite feel right, but they were going in. But other than that, I've struggled. The West Coast and early Florida, I putted well, but just haven't done it of the last 4 events. And so, yeah, you saw me experimenting with the Ardmore. I'm trying to find something that I can feel again, like the swing of the putter, getting my body in the right positions, and seeing the lines again. It's one of those things where once I start to get that ball rolling, on my lines, then I'll be back to putting like I was. I just have not been rolling on all my lines, and then on top of that, when you don't roll on your lines, then I have a hard time seeing my line, and then it's a vicious cycle, and just trying to get out of that cycle. I'm going to use the putter tomorrow? Yes. I'm going to figure that out later. But yeah, if you saw me, I've been putting the leg time with this Ardmore. It swings more than mine. Slightly has a slight more of a swing to it, and that's something I've been looking for because I practice with, I always have, with the heel shafted putter at home, and I like feeling that toe move, and then I'll put my putter back in my hands and I'll putt. What I have done over the time is I always putted with a heel shafted putter as a training tool, so that I can have the same feel in my hands with my putter. Well, this one is kind of a blend between the two. It's not quite a heel shafted, and it's not quite a plumber's neck. And so I'm kind of right in between.
Steve.
You've already talked about it, but how tough is this golf course, and what do you have to do to survive it?
This golf course, it's very simple. You have to drive it well. You cannot play out of this rough. You have to hit a lot of fairways. The greens are tough to get to if you don't hit fairways. And with the rough being up, it's wet, and we may get some weather in here later today, make it more wet. And then with the heat coming in here on the weekend, it's just going to keep making it grow thicker and thicker and thicker. And so got to hit the fairways to have a chance. If you don't hit fairways here, not going to have a chance.
George.
Tiger, with your latest comeback, you tempered expectations coming in. Obviously had a good Florida swing, good run at the Players. Now that you have 10 events under your belt going into 11, do you have any gauge of what your game is capable of producing this latter half of the schedule?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited the way I've hit the golf ball. I've done some things that I haven't done in over a decade, and so to be able to hit the golf ball as well as I have hit it, if I could just have that same putting stroke I had earlier in the year with the ball striking I've had, that would be where I want to get to. Just got to put both of those things together at the same time.
Excuse me, Bob.
Tiger, hey.
Yeah, Bobby.
You've mentioned a couple times Firestone being a goal to try to get in there one last time. It was short of a win. Obviously, you need to get the top 50. You need some good results here.
Yep.
Would you do any? First of all, would you do anything to add if you were short of it? And
No,
could you just
Bob.
discuss, the whole idea of trying to get in there?
No, Bobby, I'm only going to play 2 events between now and, hopefully the Bridgestone. These will be here in the Open. It is one of my goals to get in there, just because I've won it 8 times. I love Firestone. It's one of the classic golf courses. It's right in front of you. There's no tricks. It's just right in front of you, and it's tough. We don't get to play classic courses like that anymore, and I've always enjoyed playing it. You can tell by the results I've had, but I'd like to get in there, one more time. I know the Senior Tour is going there, Champions Tour is going there. So 8 more years from now, I'll be able to get a start. So I don't want to wait that long. Just another month or so.
Is that just more due to you sort of want to stick to your schedule and don't want to vary too much bigger picture and you got playoff events?
Well, that's the thing is that, I have to really try and remind myself that, what I'm coming back from. With the injury that I've had and the procedure that I've had, I don't want to play too much, but I need to play enough. And so, I added 1 event this year. I added Valspar because I only played 2 rounds at LA. And so those are little things that I've done, tweaking it, make sure I played enough leading into the Masters. Well, I've got a game now that can play. And so it's a matter of pacing myself through. You got here the Open, maybe Bridgestone, and then you've got the PGA and the playoffs are right there, with the Ryder Cup on the backside, and so that's a lot of golf coming up in the future. So hopefully I can pace myself, get into the events, and just make sure that I stay strong enough and fresh enough to play quite a few tournaments.
Tim, on the right.
Tiger, I talked to Adam, the gentleman who caddied with you today, after he was done, and he told me it was an early retirement gift from the gods, from the golf gods. What was your interaction with him like today, and more generally, what has it meant to kind of interact with those service members, kind of give them a taste of what walking the fairways?
Yeah, Adam's retiring here soon, and I think the number was announced to me on the 16th tee there that the servicemen and women who are on that tee box have put in a combined total of 338 years served. This is the least we can do, say thank you. Let them be a part of this event, be part of what we do out here. They've given us the opportunity to do this. So I had a great time walking on the fairways. He was asking a bunch of questions. And we were, giving Joey the stick a little bit because he had to hit the tee shot on the next hole. And so we had a good time, and not a bad way to retire. And well, he didn't get the full experience, though. I was, tried to explain that to him because I was being nice to Joey on the back 9. I took the umbrella out because it's a pretty hilly back 9. He carried on the front 9, so yeah, he didn't quite have the full experience of having a tour umbrella in the ring gear.
Adam.
Tiger, with the putter that you're trying out, was there like a moment where you thought that you might want to do it? Like, I know you're always poking around in other people's bags out there. Did you? Did you see something where you thought I might like to try something similar, or was Shinnecock just kind of the last straw where you said, I think I want to give something else consideration?
Well, there's a lot that I can talk about that. One being the fact that this putter has grooves in it, and so the ball rolls at a faster rate. My old Cameron didn't, but also, I ended up trying my old Nike putter out. They had grooves. It rolled faster, and so my old blade putter, my old 8802 that I have, that thing is, the shaft is whippy. You saw how Crenshaw putted with it, and that's kind of how you have to putt with it. You got to have it swing a lot and time it right. Well, most of the guys out here are using mallets now. It's very interesting. They're using more technology in their putters. I went to more technology when I was with Nike. I went to faster, sharper grooves to get the ball rolling faster. So I'm trying a little bit of that now with this Ardmore. It has grooves in it. It is rolling the ball a little bit faster. But what I've tried to offset that is I've gone to a little bit more swing to it. And so I have a little bit more feel, so I don't get away from my basic feel of my fingers and how I putt.
In the front right here.
Tiger, to return to the question of golf in DC and the future of the tournament for a minute, I'm wondering, kind of a two-part question. In the coming weeks and months, how involved will you personally be in determining where this will be held next year? And is it a matter of getting the sponsorship before determining, along with that sponsor, where the course is going to be?
Well, we can have it here every year. That's not very difficult to do, but it's trying to get the sponsorship dollars, and that kind of commitment going forward is the more difficult challenge. And we're certainly going to give it our best efforts, but the future is unknown, and that's frustrating for all of us, not just here at the foundation, what we do, but it's also frustrating for the community here and the people who have supported us and supported this event. The DC area really wants to have a golf tournament each and every year. It's just trying to get a sponsor that's willing to come up with the dollars like that and a commitment.
Will you be personally involved in
I have been personally involved with all of it. Yeah, it's been tough. It's been frustrating, and it's, as I said, it's unknown.
Fatia on the aisle.
Tiger, your foundation is doing very good with education system for the kids. Did you learn something at school which made you greatest?
Well, I think that growing up with my mother being so ardent about school being a priority, she really pushed me to have good grades, a good work ethic, to do everything right, and to get those grades, you got to work at it, you got to earn it, you got to put your time in. And I think that without her drive and her push, that I probably wouldn't have gotten into Stanford. And so that was something that I'm very thankful for, and the relationships I've been able to create because of our basically my Stanford connection has allowed me an opportunity to meet a bunch of various people and a bunch of influential people in the educational sector. So this has helped us a lot in what we're trying to do, and it's amazing how many Stanford grads are out there, and what they're doing in for education around the world, and we're trying to be a part of that.
We got time for two more on the left. We'll start here.
Tiger, when did you first put this new putter in your hands and start practicing with it? And over the years, who's been the person who's helped you the most when you've had trouble with putting?
Well, I put it in early last week. I tried a bunch of different shapes and sizes and swings and line, no line, dot, no dot, all the different styles that the TaylorMade makes. I tried to come up with something that I felt like I could swing and trust, and that's why I've gone with the Ardmore so far this week. It's just I've tried it last week on Bermuda. I'm trying it here out on Bent. It's a little bit different. It rolls a little bit differently, but I got to push through its paces to see if I can play with it. And then there's been no better teacher that I've ever had than my dad. I've had coaches throughout my career, but my dad was the best teacher I've ever had with putting, and probably ever will.
All right, last question with Doug on the left.
I'm curious about something, considering how long you were out of golf. What is that, like one tournament over 2.5 years? When you showed up at Torrey and Tampa and even here, how much time did you find yourself looking at the front of someone's bag to figure out who in the world they were? And have you had any awkward moments this year of not knowing who somebody was when you maybe should have?
Yeah, there's been a big turnover of guys. I've been able to be a part of the Ryder Cup and President's Cup teams, but they're very small, select guys. But I got to know them. They're young guys on the teams. But The eye-opening one was playing with Sam at Honda. Sam Burns, yes, because Sam's half my age, and when he was, I've never heard that before. You know, when I've been on tour, I've never heard someone half my age, and that was a bit of an eye-opener for me. Yeah, when he was talking about Tomsey, you know, at LSU, I'm thinking of David Toms. I'm not thinking of his son. And so, like, Jesus. That's when it kind of hit that, you know, there's been a big turnover, and I've been away from the game for a while.
What do you do when a young guy comes up and says, "Hey, Tiger," and you have no idea who it is?
It's happened a few times. But that's what's happening out here. You know, a lot of guys come out here via the web, and I've been gone for a while. And so that turnover is happening. Most of the guys, well, I can tell you, every single of the guys on the Champions Tour I've played with, against, been on teams with, I've been there when they've been out here when their kids were newborns, and now they're off in college. And so that part's what I'm accustomed to. This other part's a little bit different for me.